Okay guys, it's springtime and you want to do some spring cleanup, right? Most people mow their yard. They don't do spring cleanup. You can tell. Just walking down the road. It's not hard. So what I like to do for spring cleanup is, first off, you go around and you rake the edges of your property to bring those leaves in. You know, the ones that you missed in the fall, or the ones that blew in from the neighbor's yard. It's because, they, halfway down the road they didn't pick up their leaves. So, leaves. Not that there's a whole lot in this yard because I got a fence around it, but leaves. They get everywhere. And I missed some on my initial rake, but I can get those later. Once you get those leaves raked in, away from the edge, that way you can actually get them with the mower. You take your couple passes with your mower. You can see there's a little bit of out there that's outside of the initial couple passes. I'll get those when I'm striping. Or, well, not really striping, but, getting the grass cut down a little bit. Your first passes with the mower, though, keep it a little high. Alright? We'll go lower here in a little bit, but keep it a little high to start. What you're doing with your first couple passes, or your first pass over the yard, is you're getting the bulk of everything up off the ground. The bulk of the leaves that you raked out, the bulk of the leaves that were already on the ground. You're gonna cut up some of them twigs, but keeping that deck up, most of the bigger branches you're gonna miss. And if your grass is tall because you mowed early in the fall and then the leaves came down and you really didn't get a chance to mow again, that's a great thing to do, is to keep that deck up. That way you don't ruin your mower by running over branches or twigs that are a little thicker. This will hit the small twigs, pull the small twigs up, and the bigger ones, it'll leave them down. So that's, just got a couple more passes. I'm gonna get on that and we'll catch back up with you here in a minute. Okay, and with the high mower pass done, high deck, time to trim. Now, throw your clippings into the yard. The main reason you want to trim around the edge on this step is to throw any leaves you may have missed when raking back into the yard. Any grass you're clipping back into the yard. We're going to be trimming a little aggressively on this. Just because this is the first trim of the year, it's spring cleanup, so I want to make sure I can get as much of that leaves and junk out of those edges as possible. Along the fence, along the flower beds. Just want to clean it all up, get it all out. It's going to look like crap. I'm not going to like it right now, but in 3 weeks, you never know the difference. Okay guys, and after you're done with that, you're going to want to lower your mower deck down somewhere between 1.5 to 2.5 inches. 2 would be good, but if your yard can't handle 2.5. Of course, if your yard can handle a lower cut, then take it lower. The main thing is, if your yard's level, usually you can get a pretty low cut. If it's not, if it's kind of bumpy, you're going to scalp the pits out. You see my yard's a little bumpy. I'm mowing at 1 3/4 inch, but it's not doing the best because the yard's bumpy, and it's okay. I'm fine with that. I might be a little bit low. Maybe I probably should have put it around 2. But you're just going to mow a different direction than you did the first time, at the lower deck height, and you're going to kind of pick up the rest of the leaves that you missed the first time, any grass clippings that you have. You want to get everything up off the ground. Alrighty guys, with the second pass through done, you're going to get your dethatcher out, or your power rake, because we're actually power raking, which is going to take some of the thatch off. It's just not going to get deep and take deep in thatch out. And one thing you'll notice, I've already power raked on this side over here, and it doesn't look that bad. Got a power rake over here still. You can tell the difference. You're probably asking, why is he power raking his yard if there's not much thatch there, if there's not much to pull up? You're asking the wrong question. The question you really should be asking, because I'm sure you've all seen these videos from these other guys where they're preaching the importance of dethatching, power raking, and they actually call this dethatching, which I'm guilty of that too. It's power raking, not dethatching, because dethatching gets deeper. The scarifier usually for dethatching, but anyway, well, yeah. So this is just this power rake. But the question you should be asking is, why are these guys that preach how much you need to do this, why does their yards have so much thatch? Why do they get so much out of the ground? That's the question you really should be asking. I can pull a plug out of here right now, and you'll see that the thatch layer, non-existent. So, for me, power raking is good enough because I don't have thatch buildup. Don't need to dethatch. Power rake will work just fine. And it's pretty clear that power raking works just fine when you see there's really not much to power rake here anyway. Okay guys, and as you can see, the next step would just be to mow it all up. Over there, looks mostly clean. Over here, there's quite a bit of dead grass, or thatch, whatever you want to call it, up on the ground, up on top of the grass. So a little darker over here, quite a bit lighter over there. You can still see that some of the grass is still dormant, hasn't woken up yet, but that's okay. I mean, it's spring. It's got to take a little bit to wake it up and start growing again. I mean, I could half that side over there behind the camera is still dormant, which is why I'm not working over there today. A lot of that yeah. So we'll get to it again, get some more of this picked up, let you guys see just how much of a difference it makes to get that dead grass up off the ground. Now, if you notice before, whenever I mowed it down real low, a lot of it was green and yellow. Of course, I mowed it too short. You shouldn't take, that much off of your grass at a time. And I was behind on mowing because I was working 70 hours a week over the fall, so I didn't really have time to mow once the leaves started falling anyway. But we're getting it cleaned up now, and she'll start waking up hopefully this week. Now, one thing you are going to want to consider is where you're going to put all that yard waste. I got a compost pile. You can tell this top part is a little more brown than the rest. Down here was the second mow, down at the bottom was the first mow, with a lot of the leaves and a little bit of leaves mixed in here. And this is the cleanup after power raking. But it's pretty tall. And of course you can see in here, a lot of this is brown. There's some green. The green would have been grass blades that I missed picking up. Most. There'd be some green from maybe might have pulled some green out with the dead stuff, but that's a pretty big pile, and that's only a quarter of my yard. And I just emptied my pile a couple weeks ago, so yeah, I'm gonna wait for that to knock down a little bit before I move on with the rest. I mean, I will mow the rest. It's just I'm not gonna power rake and get it all nice and ready to go for the summer, or middle spring, I guess. I mean, what, we're 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in? Whatever it is, you know what I'm trying to say. We'll let that knock down for about a week. We'll turn it. We might hit another quarter, do it again, hit another quarter, do it again, and then hit the last part, which would be the front where people see, which I'm my part of the yard is right over there in the back where people don't see me, because that's where I like to be.
Alright, not sure if I'll remember to add this to the end of the video that I did this, but wow, that looks amazing. Nice and tight. Everything's so short, and this is the next morning, so that looks gorgeous already. Can't wait to get the rest of the yard done, but that's a whole day project, and I don't know that I want to spend my whole day doing that. Sometime though, sometime.